you're saying, I'm not afraid. I have no fears. No, we all have fears. We all have insecurities. Welcome to Coffee with Kevin.
So, how do you overcome fears?
I think you overcome fear first by naming them, by being honest, by not hiding behind fears, by not acting like you're saying, I'm not afraid. I have no fears. No, we all have fears. We all have insecurities. So I think number one, just naming them, that in itself gives some release, right? Because you stop holding them inside and you just get them out into the world, and that makes them a little bit less scary. That makes them a little less daunting, because then all of a sudden, as you share, you realize, oh, that person has fear too, and that person has insecurity, and I'm not crazy. We all have issues that we're trying to work through. And then I think as you name them, I think doing them, right? When you do something, it becomes less scary. Right? You're trying to ride a bike and it seems terrifying. I'm going to fall. I'm going to break my leg. I'm going to bust my head open. All these terrible things, because fear makes us think the irrational, right? And so we think that if we get on a bike, it's going to be just this terrifying, deathly adventure. When no, you're just going to get on a bike and ride down the street. And if you fall, you're going to scratch your leg a little bit. It's never going to be as bad as what we thought. And so I think leaning into those things and doing those things, we look back like, why was I so afraid of riding a bike? Why was I so afraid of speaking in front of 2,000 people? Because we convince ourselves that the worst case scenario is going to happen. So I think maybe the last thing is actually playing that scenario out. Well, what if I get up there on stage and they don't think I'm funny? Well, in your mind, fear tells you that, well, if they don't think you're funny, that means they're not going to listen to you. That means they think you're a terrible speaker. That means nobody's ever going to ask you to speak again, which means your life's going to fall apart and you're going to lose your house and lose your job and lose your family and lose everything. And you're going to be homeless probably tomorrow. So why even get on stage? And when people start to say those things out loud, they realize just how ridiculous they sound, because that doesn't happen. People have bombed speeches. People have lost games. And they have lost their jobs, but life turns out fine. Right? It's never going to be as dramatic as we think it is. And so as we can lay those fears out and realize how kind of ridiculous they may be, we realize that even if things don't go as we want, we're going to be fine. And, we were with our family recently on vacation, and talking with our oldest, there's a water slide that looked pretty intense. And he was a little iffy on it. And I said, don't be afraid. I said, it's okay to be afraid. But on the other side of that fear is fun. So don't let fear prevent you from living. Don't let fear prevent you from having fun. I go into like coach mode, right, with my kids. And I don't know if any of it ever works, and so I went with one of our other boys, and he went up and did the big slide, and talked to my wife after. She asked him how to go. He's like, oh, it was good. She goes, well, what made you do it? And so I just remembered Dad said, on the other side of fear is fun. I didn't want to miss out on the fun. And so he got past that fear and he enjoyed it. And so I think Fear is designed to keep us from reaching our potential, right? Fear is designed to keep us living an average life, to be mediocre, to just play it safe at all times and never get better, never make anything else better. If we can realize that on the other side of fear is everything that's possible, then we can actually lean into that.